Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in the divisional round edition of the Sunday Sideline Report here on the Sports Vicinity Network YouTube channel. It's the original trio. We got Danny Boy Reginald, we got the old ops guy, and you got Mike with you. Gentlemen, good morning. How are you?
Happy to be here. I got week one to now. It's been us all throughout the season, and none of us are in the playoffs.
And we are 3 weeks away from the granddaddy of them all.
Mhm. Though, let's be honest, this is the best weekend of
This is
the NFL season. Like divisional weekend. You have
Yes.
the best matchups. You have, 4 games. Just a lot going on here. So, like it always will be the best weekend in football. But by the time we get to Super Bowl, it's not really for football fans. So,
for everybody else.
but yeah.
You know, it's funny if you think about how divisional weekend lines up this year. You have the 2 games yesterday, you have the 2 games today, and the cherry on top is tomorrow night. You have the national championship game between Indiana and Miami.
Yeah.
Shout out Kurt Signetti.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that should also be fun. But
Yeah.
we
Shout out to Indiana. They're trying to get their first national title in program history. The U trying to get back to
I think it's
college football glory.
2001, right?
So, yeah, I mean a very long time,
Been a
but
long time for the U.
yeah, they're trying to get back to college football glory. And of course, we doubted them. And let's be honest, we doubted them. Like
Should
they
be a fun
they
game for
they
Nando.
they've humbled us big time.
Fernando Mendoza's been awesome all year. He'll be the #1 pick. That
Mhm.
Hurricane defense has been really good in this college football playoff too, containing A&M and then Ohio State. So let's see what happens. That's then, but this is now,
Mhm.
and we got 2 big games today. We'll recap the 2 from yesterday. We have huge coaching news that came out of the circuit over the past week. But let's just dive on into yesterday. And we had two, let me phrase it better. One very good game and one game that ended after kickoff. The great game was in Denver, which saw the Broncos beat the Bills by a score of 33-30 in overtime. Bo Nix, 26 of 46, 279, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Mark, as you mentioned earlier, he was their leading rusher with not even 30 yards, though. And then receiving Marvin Mims, 8 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. For the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen's 25 of 39, 283, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. He also had a fumble. James Cook went for over 100 rushing yards. Dalton Kincaid, 6 receptions, 83 yards, and a touchdown. And the Bill season ends, and there's a lot of conversation about a lot of plays that went down in this game. So I don't know how you guys want to go about this, but Mario, I know you were out and you had to watch the highlights.
Ex-
So,
Exactly. I'll give a quick breakdown, and then you guys can go more in depth.
mm,
So last night I was invited by a client to go to the Jazz Forum in Tarrytown, New York, to watch Monty Alexander play 2 sets. It was probably the best night I've had as an adult in a long time. No devices, no electronic, just great straight up band play. Shout out Mark, who is the owner, for making it a great time. Also, the food was out of this world. I got home at a little after midnight and I had to sit down and watch the replay, so I didn't get to see every play. I was more shocked that it went to overtime than anything else. I had picked Denver to win. Um, and I'm glad that came to be. I'm glad that came to be. But a hard fact is that when I read the top line of the article that Bo Nix broke his
We'll get
ankle, I
into
just
that
sat
in
down.
a minute.
So I'm gonna kick it over to Dan as Dan had more info on the game. That was my take. Hats off to the Broncos as they move on.
I thought I expected better from the Bronco defense. They were okay. But I expected better. I did not love the quarterbacks in this game either. I thought that Bo Nix, he didn't really sell his game well. I also thought that Josh Allen pretty shaky. I mean, he did not play great either. He had the 4 turnovers, and yes, he had a touchdown or two and stuff, but he didn't pass well. He obviously gave the ball away to the defense, especially in that end of the first half, I believe, where he fumbled the
Yeah.
football. It was so egregious when the Bills are trying to get points, and the Broncos were get that fumble. Like, it was easy. You know, him waving the football and everything. So there was that. There was that just awful, awful miss towards the end of the regulation, I believe. Again, Bill's trying to take the lead, and he misses Dawson Knox on a easy pass. I mean, it wasn't wide open, but he was going to catch the ball. Probably would have been tutty.
Yeah, if he turns up, Dawson Knox has touchdowns.
So, not the greatest game from Josh Allen. I mean, Bo Nix also wasn't spectacular either. Nonetheless, a back and forth affair, 30 points a pop. Obviously, the Broncos got the better end of it. The worst part about this game, we're watching all the touchdowns, we're watching all the field goals, we're watching all the excitement and everything. The worst part about this game is in overtime, where the referees, and look, we can talk about all these controversial calls in a second. The referees giving the Broncos nearly 50 yards of penalties going in their favor. And that's how they get down the field to win the game. That is egregious. That is outrageous. And again, I'm not necessarily saying that, the Bills didn't play a clean game, but it's just like, what are you doing? Why are the referees continuing to make it about them instead of about what the players are doing? Like, let the players dictate how the game runs.
I don't disagree with that last part. I thought they were really good until till overtime.
Yeah,
I didn't have a complaint. Um, the first pass interference was the one I kind of really had a problem with.
yeah.
The one with Cortland Sutton.
Mhm.
But even if so, even if they don't call it, Joey Bosa gets called for roughing the passer because he hits Bo Nix late, which is, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
You've been around long. If that's a rookie mistake, I live with it. Joey Bosa is a veteran. You can't do it. So either way, that's a penalty. The one on Trey White, I don't love it,
Yeah.
but I also keep watching it and going, if he maybe turns for the ball once, maybe they don't call it. But I think because he never turns, that's why it's called. And listen, I don't disagree with you, Dan. I thought, I don't love the fact that this game went to the officials, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I don't want to bail out the Bills who are -4 in turnover differential. I don't
Yeah.
want to bail out Josh Allen for what you said. That fumble at the end of the first half
Yeah.
is
Oh,
so
horrible.
bad.
Horrible.
because all you do in that spot is take the knee, go to halftime. Instead, what you do, you fumble, you give Denver a free 3 points. Now it's a 10-point game.
Yeah.
So you're giving
And
Denver
they're trying to get points. It was a swing.
Yeah.
It was a horrible
6-point
swing for them.
And the other thing is this. I'll now get into the Bo Nix conversation you were having. I think this was a sign for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo all kept saying, we don't need a number one receiver. We don't need a number one receiver. We don't need. Now it's not true. You need one. Keon Coleman, another massive touchdown drop this week.
Yeah.
McCall Hardman had an impact, but that's not a one. Brandon Cook, since he went over, played very well. He had that huge other controversial play, which I'm not going to get into just based on the fact of I'm going to just go based on what the rules analyst said, and he said there was no possession.
I mean, live it looked like an interception, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Live it looked like an interception. I can see why the Bills are upset, though, because wasn't he down with them being sort of tied? Like
yeah. So what Sterator said was, when he's coming down, he didn't have firm control.
Right.
So when the defender reaches in, it's simultaneous, so they couldn't really rule him down by contact.
But you see, I would argue the other way. And again, the Sterator is way better about footballs and rules than I am.
Yeah.
He's been an official.
We don't know what a catch is in this
league. Exactly. But it's just like, I feel like the receiver had the possession and then it was snatched out late. And again, maybe because the ball was touched by both the receiver and the defender, that's why they went with the call that they did. I don't know. It was, to me, it was bang bang.
Yeah. I think if they called it a catch on the field, it would have stood.
Yeah.
If they called it a pick, it was going to stand.
Mm.
And Sean McDermott, I got to say this. I respect Sean McDermott a lot.
Yeah.
You called the time. You called the timeout afterwards to have them try to explain it to you, and you didn't like their explanation, and then you said it's kind of Buffalo against the world. I don't like that from my head coach. Just be like, listen, I don't agree with what the referees told me. You move on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's emotional. On top of Josh Allen, which we'll obviously get to, and he got very emotional. Just heads up after.
Yeah, he needed a hug.
But this is tough for McDermott too. Like this is going on 10 seasons of excellence that he's trying to instill with his team, winning that he's trying to instill with his team. And this is the clearest path that they ever had, and they still can't get it done.
Yeah.
So for him, he's starting to feel it. He really is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's feeling it. I'm sure Brandon Beane's going to feel it. Josh Allen's obviously feeling it. You brought up the emotions he had after the game, and you feel for Josh Allen for how well he's played in his career, and he was let down again by his team.
Yeah.
But I want to get into Bo Nix in a minute, the injury part. But Dan, you were right. Like in that second half, Bo Nix was not very good.
No.
And then that throw he makes to Mims in the last minute to give Denver the lead might have been the best throw Bo Nix ever made.
Yeah.
And then
there's just a lot of misses, a lot of floaters, and allowing the Buffalo defense to clown you a little bit. I didn't love that. And you know, it was a back and forth game. It wasn't like there was a clear cut favorite to win this game. Obviously, we all know the what was it? The Bills were favored point spread wise for a little bit, but um, but yeah, the Broncos and Bills, they were going back at it. I didn't love that hat. It just kept the Bills in the game a lot with the defense, and of course, um, Josh Allen finally started making some good throws. Um,
The
yeah,
most effective play was Josh Allen on the tush push. That
yeah. I mean,
third and one, second and one. That's where we're
that's the
going.
thing. Like the running game. Thank goodness that Josh Allen could be a mobile quarterback and also could hand off the ball, right?
Yeah,
Um,
James Cook went for over 100.
thank God for that. But it's just like I don't know, like some of these misses were just terrible. Like it wasn't even close to some of these
Mhm.
receivers. And look, I get it. You know, Kincaid and Knox are your best receivers, but like it was rough out there.
The one to Knox late in the game.
Yeah,
That was the one that's the one you want
and
back.
that's a clear miss. It was a great play call. He didn't get wide open, but it would have been a touchdown
Yep,
if
if he
he had
turns
gone
up.
right to his hands.
So the Bills go home. Denver will host the AFC title game next week
Mhm.
with Jarrett Stidham as their starting quarterback because Sean Payton revealed after the game Bo Nix broke a bone in his ankle.
Yeah, yeah, it was on that play before the kneel down. I don't know if you seen
Yeah,
the
he
The
highlight.
runs
one
to
that
the
he ran off to the
outside.
sideline. Yeah, he
Yeah.
runs to the sideline.
Yeah, he ran over. I think he was trying to get some yards, and he took the ball himself,
Mhm.
ran to the left side, and when he was crumbling, he twisted his ankle, and that's how I can't believe he broke his ankle in that play. Like that's tough. I mean,
People named Bo don't break their ankles. Bo Jackson broke other people's ankles.
amen.
Also,
Um,
he walked back out on the field. You couldn't tell that he broke anything.
Yeah,
he was hobbling, but like I don't.
you thought that's like heat of the moment game.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe he got dinged up a little bit. Maybe maybe someone stepped on his foot or something. Like you're not thinking about broken ankle. He broke his ankle. That's the crazy part. Like, oh man. If I'm the Texans, please kick the Patriots ass today. I do not want to see the Patriots win. We'll get to that game in a little bit. Oh my God.
But you feel for Bo Nix,
Oh
and
man.
Yes.
And
you
you feel
know
for the Broncos because now I'm look, Jarrett Stidham has had some good games in his career. In a playoff scenario, that's gonna be
Sean Payton's gonna have to dig way deep into his bag,
it's a lot to ask for a quarterback for a backup of
especially
his
if they're gonna
caliber.
play Houston's defense.
With Bo Nix going down, would you agree that his chance at MVP race is now out?
You mean for the playoffs?
No, for the entire season.
Bo Nix was never in the playoff cover or in the MVP conversation.
Not saying he was top 10 or anything, but now he's
Yeah,
not going to have a chance with
No,
other
he's
quarterbacks
not
moving
going to win
forward.
anything. He'll win best Bo. He beat out Bo Diddley.
yeah. Um, I mean, Bo wasn't a serious quarterback. I don't know, like, but he played well enough to get
Yeah.
the Broncos into the playoffs, and
You know what
that's the
Sean
part
Payton
that
should
sucks.
do? Sean Payton should call up his old friend Drew Brees and see if he's got one more left in him.
Nah,
Oh,
they have
no.
yeah they have Eli Manning memes.
I was about to say, if you're going to call anybody, go get Andrew Luck.
Andrew
They
Luck,
brought
The
Rivers.
okay,
GM
They
of
brought Rivers
Stanford
back.
football.
They
God,
brought Rivers back to where the Baltimore. Let's get Andrew Luck in there.
Uh, Yeah, so Denver will host the AFC Championship game next week. I believe that'll be the first game next week of the conference championship games. And then the late game last night, which wasn't even a real game. The Seahawks dismantled the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 41-6. Sam Darnold, 12 of 17, a buck 24 and a touchdown. Kenneth Walker, 19 carries, a buck 16 and 3 rushing touchdowns. Cooper Kupp, leading receiver, 5 catches for 60 yards. JSN had the touchdown. For the
No
Niners,
surprise there.
Brock Purdy, 15 and 27, a buck 40, no touchdowns and a pick. Christian McCaffrey was held in check, and Jake Tonjes, 5 catches, 59 yards. The Niners season's over. The Seahawks will host the NFC title game. This game was over after the opening kickoff with Rashid Shaheed.
94 yards all the way back.
I was about to say that, and then of course the Niners also had a penalty on that sequence.
Yeah, the
so
kick it's called for tripping. Like, dude, if you're gonna do it, actually execute it.
Like,
right.
It was an easy leap, for the return guy. I mean,
Rashid, he's got some speed.
Was it Shaheed? Whatever.
Rashid Shaheed, yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty fast. Pretty fast guy. Yeah, I turned the game off. Like, I tuned it out. I was at work anyway. I was focusing on my job, but like, I tuned the game out as soon as that happened. Like, talk about a no confidence going into the game. That is a complete sign. You got to attempt to trip a guy to prevent an opening kickoff touchdown. That screams no confidence at every which way. And they didn't have it all game. I mean, Purdy was a disaster. Niners defense was non-existent. I thought, look, you're going into Sunday Night Football for the 1 seed and you lose the way they did. Like, I thought that they'd be pissed off enough to be like, yeah, let's go in and let's kick Seattle's ass, and they can't even do that. Again, they've been limited all season. No Kittle, no this, no that. Show me something, you know?
It's funny because Noah and I actually went live middle of the first quarter. Check it out here on the YouTube channel. And throughout the game, and we kept saying the same thing. Like, this game was down to 2 things. The Seahawks are really, really good, and the Niners are really, really banged up. And they even got further banged up last night. McCaffrey's on the sideline at one point, getting his shoulder looked at. The guy replacing Kittle's getting looked at because he turned his ankle or something. And it's just like the Niners, it's just another one of those years for the Niners where everyone got hurt at the wrong time. And it's just, you went into a really hostile environment and the Seahawks beat the snot out of you.
This game actually reminded me of the 93-94 playoff game against Dallas, San Francisco, in which San Francisco came out and went up by 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. And I don't know. When your starting quarterback can win only throwing 12 passes for 124 yards and a touchdown. Hats off to Kenneth Walker on a beautiful game. And then Cooper Kupp, I like to see his name at the top for once. He's just become the forgotten man all of a sudden. I think this gives Darnold some rest. I'm pulling for Sam Darnold here because I want to see Sam Darnold get to that game. If he wins, he wins. He loses, he loses. He gets there. He's one of the best journeyman quarterbacks that's ever greats of the NFL, in my opinion. And I think Dan would agree, considering he was drafted a New York Jet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think for this game, the San Francisco 49ers defense is so banged up. Plus, you did not get Kurt Warner, unfortunately. He was not activated. And Seattle took really, really good control of the running game early. Um, it was, my boy DeMarcus Lawrence got another sack. Woohoo. But otherwise, hats off to Seattle. We'll find out who you're going to play very soon.
If DeMarcus Lawrence wins a ring, does Jerry claim that as a Cowboys Super Bowl title too?
I'm trying to see how that would work. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a performance by the Seahawks. And so both one seeds will host their respective conference title games. Who they play, well, that'll be determined today. The first game, which is at 3:00, much to Mark's chagrin, has Dan's cousin D'Amico Ryans and the Houston Texans going to Foxborough and playing Drake May and those pesky Patriots. And if we go back to last week, the Patriot defense was a big story against the Chargers. We know how good the Texan defense is. We might be in for a low-scoring affair in this one.
I don't doubt that. It's a very, very big possibility. Losing Nico Collins for Houston is absolutely devastating. You're taking one of the best wide receivers in football out of the game.
Yep.
They'll be able to compensate, but I agree with Mike. I think this is going to be a defensive game on both sides. We all know what both defenses can do. Mike Vrabel's done a fantastic job in New England, and then what has been done in Houston has been building for a few years, and so glad to see it where it should be. I think the defenses keep it close. I think Mike's right. It's going to be a low scoring affair. Use something like 15-12.
Ooh, all field goal affair.
No, you're going to be 2 touchdowns with missed extra points.
Fair enough.
Danny boy.
Dan?
I think for the Texans, because the Patriots defense is so lethal, they need to punch back with their own defense. And that's how they're going to win this game, really. Of course, you can make plays on offense, and good luck. But like their defense really is going to have to come out punching. And I agree. Like I think that this game is going to be low scoring. It's going to be like maybe like a 17-14 type of deal. There'll be a touchdown or two in this game because there always is. But it's just like this game is going to come down to who can make the biggest play. And we know that the Patriots have playmakers as well as the Texans. So it's going to be very interesting. I think it was Vrabel, I think it was in a presser either yesterday or Friday, where he was like, hey, look, we're going to make mistakes, but we got to be precise. And I think that's a great quote. I think that's the best thing you can say in that situation because the Texans are such a good team that, it's not about being perfect. But if you have the precision, that's good news for them.
Two things I want to see from Houston defensively is who are they going to line up across from Will Campbell, the rookie, the young left tackle? Are they going to go Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson? And how are they going to portray Derek Stingley? Is he going to go to Stephon Diggs? Is he going to travel around? Those are two things I'm watching from the Houston defense. And Houston offensively, Mark, you brought up Nico Collins. I think your guy Dalton Schultz is going to have a game if Houston wants to win. I think
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I think that's the guy who's going to have to step up. You have some young receivers in Higgins and I don't know. I'm blanking on the other Iowa State Cyclone. We have some young receivers in there. Woody Marks is a rookie running back. I'm sure you utilize the screen game. Dalton Schultz is going to have to be a big, reliable target for CJ Stroud.
And here's the problem. When Dallas has done, if one position has always been great by Dallas, it's always been the tight end position. And that's going way back. That being said, Dalton Schultz has not performed on the level that he was playing as a Cowboy for any of the seasons he's been with Houston. I agree that with the loss of Nico Collins, he's probably the most experienced, has played in the most big games, so he knows what the deal is. If he can perform like he did in Dallas, being able to go down some seam routes, some quick slants over the middle, you got a way to move the ball, but that's only gonna work for so long because Mike Vrabel is gonna pick up on it fast. So you have to come up with some more trick plays or more different formations to get Dalton where you're gonna want him.
Yeah. I mean, Schultz is a pretty big guy.
Yep.
So like he can get out there, but it's gonna be really tough. It'll be very tough. Against this defense, who would have thought?
And New England, that two-headed running back monster of Stevenson and Henderson could be a massive factor too. So, who do you guys like in the game? I usually don't ask, but I'm going to ask for the divisional weekend.
I am pulling for Houston, but as I said, it's going to be a low-scoring game. Give it to basically what I said, 15-12, Houston.
I think it's gonna be the Patriots, but make no mistake. I hope Mark is right because I do not want the Patriots get a cakewalk into the Super Bowl because that's what it is. You know, so yeah, but I think the Patriots are gonna win. They'll find a way.
Yeah, I'm with Mark. I think I'm with Dan rather. I think the Patriots find a way at home. Listen, it's going to be some elements out there because we're getting some weather up here in the
Yeah,
Northeast.
did you see the pictures of Fenway Park? It
No, I
was
haven't seen the picture.
No.
covered in snow.
Uh-oh. Could we get a redefine of the tuck rule today?
Oh, shout out John Gruden wherever you are.
I think they said the worst of the game is gonna be late. Sorry, the worst of the snow is gonna be late in the game.
Okay. I mean, not one of you would deny watching football in a snowstorm is fun.
Oh, it's
especially
great.
when
It's
there's
fantastic.
a fumble and the ball's shooting everywhere.
Your guy Leon Lett loves the snow.
Shut up.
Ouch.
I remember watching that in the middle of my Thanksgiving dinner.
The other game today, the winner will go to Seattle, play the Seahawks. We got Matthew Stafford in the Rams. We got Caleb Williams in the Bears. And this should be extraordinary.
Get your popcorn ready, peeps.
Oh, the Rams are coming off that tight win over Carolina. The Bears off that comeback win over the Packers. We got an old-fashioned shootout brewing unless the weather takes control.
Soldier Field in the winter.
Yeah. About to say that.
Soldier Field in the winter is like playing at Lambeau in the winter. Stafford thankfully has played in those elements, so he should not have a hard adjustment. But if the weather is what it's supposed to be, it's going to change the dynamic of this game. Dan?
You took the words out of my mouth. Stafford, going into his old rivals' stomping grounds and knowing how everything's gonna work. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm excited to see what Caleb Williams can do in a divisional round matchup. Very excited about that. We know what the Rams can, how they pose a threat. We know what they can do. I'm curious to see what the Bears do. This is a big moment for the franchise. Like, can they get past this Rams team? Rams team is very good. Hasn't been great of late, but they're very good. And can they get themselves to Seattle? That'll be very interesting to see. And then, of course, the Rams. Um, I look if they could find a way to not have a repeat of what we saw in Carolina, like is that possibility too? Because it was rough to watch that defense go back and forth. Sorry, the offense go back and forth with that Carolina team, like a near shootout. So, um, and also the Rams defense too. I expected a lot better against Carolina, and I didn't get that. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting.
This is where the revamping of the Bears offensive line has to come through. Because the Ram defense is going to win predicated on pressuring Caleb Williams. If they don't get to you with their front, man, you can have fun, a little bit of fun with that secondary. So if the Bears can protect Caleb, they got a real good opportunity here. I think the other thing is this. You guys brought up Stafford. You know who else has played in these elements before? Some guy named Devontae Adams.
Mhm.
And the Bears have a guy named Jalen Johnson who's an all pro corner. I'm curious to see what Dennis Allen does with Jalen Johnson. Do you play him against Devontae or do you play him against Puka Nacua? And that's the thing about the Ram offense now. It's not a one-headed receiving monster. You got two-headed at receiver. The tight ends are now getting involved with that Colby Parkinson touchdown. Higbee's back. Oh, and by the way, they have Kyron Williams and Blake Corum in the backfield if you want that. The Rams can do a lot of different things offensively. I'm excited to see who wins the battle of the line of scrimmage because whoever wins that, I think, wins the game. And as Mark said, get your popcorn ready because this should be a really fun game.
Sean McVay is the coach you want in this position. And not to take away from anybody else who's out there right now in this level. He is just a brilliant mind when it comes to the NFL. He wanted Devontae Adams, he got him. There was no mystery to where he was going because he said he was willing to pay anything. And that's what's put this Rams team over the top. As Mike mentioned, you got Puka Nacua on the other side. So it's a conundrum on who that number one is going to be up against. I'm sure it'll be rotating. But this game is being played in Soldier Field in 20-degree weather. It might be snowing, it might not be, it might have passed already, but that ground is going to be slick. I don't care if you go out there with blow dryers, you ain't gonna improve that field. That field is not meant to be improved anymore. And this is gonna be a fight. What I hope we don't see is a repeat of the last round. Chicago's just hanging in there, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter onslaught. I don't think they could repeat and win, especially with it being LA.
Yeah, they can't get off to a slow start.
No, you have to keep pace. I mean, if they get a touchdown and you get a field goal, that's fine. Keep pace, keep putting points on the board. Say you got to have a trick play or two in here. I'm sure Chicago's going to pull a couple, especially with DJ Moore healthy again. This
And they're
is
gonna
the
have to create a
game.
turnover too.
Yep. As I said, this was the game of the day. Get your popcorn ready, get your pastrami and corned beef and hot wings ready. Yeah, no, normally you don't say those two in the same order. But I never thought I would say this. This is me. This is me. It's hard. But let's go Bears.
Wow. Dan, who do you like?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a tough one.
It's
It
It
really
really
open-ended.
is.
is. Both games are tough.
It's open-ended to me.
Listen, I'm rooting for. I'll be honest. I am openly rooting for the Los Angeles Rams of St. Louis
Uh-huh.
for the one reason, and that is if this is the end for Matthew Stafford, I want him going out on top.
Fair enough.
So I'm gonna go the Rams. Also, Sean McVay has great hair. Got to give him that.
He's got a beautiful football mind.
God.
Oh, he does. So Rams Bears, that'll be the late game following the Patriots and the Texans. And then next week we'll have conference championship games. But we got other news, man. We got coaching news. We got 2 coaching vacancies filled, and we got one more that is open. I'm going to start with the one that is open. And that was earlier this week. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin stepped down as the head coach after 19 seasons, never had a losing record, massed over 190 wins. And so I'm going to ask you guys this. I was having this conversation on the live stream last night with Noah. And Mark, I think you and I may have texted about this. I don't remember. But I think it's time if you're a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, maybe embrace a small little rebuild here.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I see where you're going with this. Please continue.
Yeah, so by a rebuild, I mean this. One, they got to find out the quarterback of the future, whoever that's going to be. But either A, maybe a guy like TJ Watt you can move and get something back for. DK Metcalf is someone you can move and get something for. You know, you got other pieces you can move around. Start it over because maybe in 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, you can be right back in the conversation in the AFC. Because right now, every time they make the playoffs, they get blown out.
Yeah, and that division is so wonky that almost anybody can make the playoffs.
Mhm.
As for Pittsburgh, I don't disagree with Mike that now that Mike Tomlin is gone, by the way, just gone, not dead. He's just gone. He's out of Pittsburgh. I agree with some of the guys here think he might go network for a year. I've heard he wants to go right back into coaching, so we'll wait and see
Yeah.
what happens on that front. As for the 2 players that Mike mentioned, TJ Watt, there is a lot of talk between Dallas and Pittsburgh for a first round pick or a second and a fourth to get TJ into Dallas. And as for DK Metcalf, it was a 3 year something. I don't know the exact number. It was a 3 year deal. It's going to be very hard to off. I know Mike's going to look up the deal exactly. It's going to be very hard to offload him because it's not like he had such a spectacular year. He had good numbers, but it wasn't like it was in Seattle for him. he never really did well. Mike?
Give me a second. I am looking up the contract.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had it. Um, the one spot I could see DK landing is with the Giants. If there could be a trade that was suitable, you would have Malik Neighbors on one side and DK Metcalf on the other. That is a young quarterback who's hungry to impress. DK would make that change for them.
Okay, so it's a 4-year, $132
4 year.
million contract,
So
60 guaranteed.
Okay, so I thought it was 3. It's a 4 year. It's a huge contract. The question becomes who is to take it on. I've already said who I thought should make a chance at it, but you're talking about a lot of cap right here. So it's going to have to be teams that can afford it if a trade were to happen.
Yeah, there's going to be a few teams, but Dan, just your overall thoughts there on Mike Tomlin stepping down.
I understood why he did it, and ultimately, I have not been on board with a coaching change in Pittsburgh for the longest time because they were stable, because they really have nothing, like they have enough pieces to go out there and always make a playoff run. They're just a few spectacular players away. But after this season and like the lackluster performances, I started to get a little bit more on board with it. So I think this is a good situation for Pittsburgh. If they can get the right coach in there to really start hammering down this team, you know, with the will to win and get back that grit. Because I feel like they've lost that just a touch. You know, if your high standard is just to not have a losing season for 19 seasons, and obviously a lot more than that because of, Bill Cowher and everything, you know, if that's the standard and not to go out and win a Super Bowl, that's pretty concerning. So let's see the Pittsburgh Steelers can get the right coach in there. He has to be a no nonsense guy. Like that to me would be the better person. Someone that's fresh out not necessarily fresh out the box, but can get back into the head coaching limelight. I think that'd be the best situation for Pittsburgh. I also think it's time to get rid of Rodgers. You know, don't even bring him back.
No,
Like,
Ian
No.
Rappaport reported yesterday he's not coming back.
oh, never mind.
Rodgers is done.
Yeah.
He should not be playing anymore.
He's
Yeah.
either retiring or he's the quarterback of the Vikings.
Yeah. So with this new regime coming in, it'd be a perfect time for them to do that. So new quarterback, new coach that he can pair with, and it's gonna be interesting. That AFC North is gonna look a lot different next season, minus Cincinnati Bengals. You know?
Yeah, weird. Zach Taylor's the only one who kept his gig.
Yeah.
But speaking of former AFC North coaches, John Harbaugh,
Mhm.
it is officially official. A 5-year contract with Mark's New York Football Giants.
Slam
I
dunk.
I
Hire.
will say exactly what I said on Thursday Night Gridiron from both sides. As a Dallas fan, oh fuck. As a analyst in the NFL, I think this is a brilliant move by the New York Giants. I am pretty sure once we hear every little bit about the contract details that he meaning John Harbaugh will have full control when it comes to the draft and have full control in trading players. And that's what's been missed since the Parcells era. Um, it's not going to be a 1 year turnaround. It's going to take a couple of years. I'd say within 2 years, maybe three, they could be in contention for the NFC East. After 2 years, they might be a wild card team.
To that point, he's going to report direct to ownership. He doesn't have to report to Joe Shane. So
Yeah, so I think that was the compromise, right?
that's
Because
probably the compromise.
they didn't, because look, it wasn't like the reporting structure. Oh, I have to report to Shane, even though I'm John Harbaugh. I know how to create a big time football culture. I don't need a GM type of thing. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this. I've seen that type of reporting structure start to pop up across the league.
Yeah.
Um, Especially
GMs
with
are
more
becoming
experienced
puppets.
coaches. I love the hire. How
No,
can you not? Like it is a no-brainer. When he came out, that's the first team I looked at was New York Giants.
mm-hmm.
I said the Giants have to get him. He is definitely what they need to build up Jackson Dart, to um, bring excellence to a legacy franchise, a flagship NFL franchise, like that is about winning. And I know the Maras over the years have they've had some stretches in their history where they've been very incompetent owners, especially over the past 10 years. And then, of course, back when they had that awful, awful playoff drought, 60s and into the 70s and everything. But no-brainer move. This is about winning, and it's about excellence, about class, and it's about bringing an identity back to the Giants. Because how many times have we talked about how incompetent they're getting to a point where they were Jet-like incompetent. They're getting to a point where they're Browns like incompetent, like Raiders like incompetent. Like it didn't make any sense.
I think Dan, you hit the right word. Identity. We we have not learned the Giant identity since Tom Coughlin left. And no matter who the coach was, whether it was Pat Shermer, Ben McAdoo, Joe Judge, even to a degree Brian Dable. Because what happened with the Giants was they've got out of touch. And let's be honest, the first year under Brian Dable where they made the playoffs, like that was as fluky of a season as you could have.
Mm.
All credit to them, they made the playoffs. But realistically, it's been downhill since
Yeah.
Tom Coughlin left.
Yes.
And look, I know they called it, what would they call it at the time? The parting of ways, or he left, or whatever it was.
They fired him.
It was he got fired,
Yeah.
right? So ever since that happened, let's be honest, it's been 10 years of not even mediocrity, Mike. They had
They're a lot.
they
They
had two
became a
playoff
laughing
seasons.
stock.
One playoff season where they were actually very good.
Yeah,
You know?
they've become a laughing stock organization. No longer with John Harbaugh are they a laughing stock.
No.
That is a man who comes in, he commands respect.
Mm-hmm.
Now the pressure's on Joe Shane. You got to do something, pal. Here,
Yeah.
this draft, you have to make an impact. This free agency, you have to make an impact.
And Harbaugh is going into one of the most volatile stadiums in
Mm-hmm.
all of football, where I'll bet where any of us know is Dan's been there. Dan's wearing the Jets jersey. They love
What?
you when you're winning. They
It's true.
love you,
Yeah, I
and
will
they
say that
hate
about
you
yeah.
when you're losing.
I will say that about New Yorkers and New Jerseyans. Like we we do not care how you win. Like just win, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Just win. The good old Al Davis philosophy.
yeah.
Too bad his son couldn't figure that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. By the way, that stadium is, I don't care what anyone says. It's still the Giants stadium. Like, I'm sorry, just I have to.
Hmm.
I have to,
But
you know.
yeah, no. I was just making a point. It's just,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like,
but
oh,
going into this
I'm
day,
I'm telling you,
let's see how he handles the media if he starts
he'll be
off 0-3.
he'll be fine.
I think of the movie Invincible, man.
Yeah.
That's how he'll handle it.
Yeah. He'll be fine. Harbaugh is such a smart dude. And look, I know the last few years in Baltimore haven't been great. I know they went to an AFC championship game, and stuff, but like I trust John Harbaugh that he can be the guy. Again, it's gonna be a process. You know, you still have Jackson Dart, who, you know, he had a good rookie season. He didn't have a great rookie season. Now in his sophomore season, like let's see what he actually does. Let's see how he can actually grow and everything. And Harbaugh, again, he's a football guy. So he's gonna find the right people to bring onto his coaching staff that's gonna help this football team.
John Harbaugh becomes the coach of the Giants. And then last night we found out Kevin Stefanski will be the next coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
Mike, I'm sure you're very relieved.
No, I'm not relieved, to be honest with you. Because if there was one thing about Kevin Stefanski is he could have picked his own quarterback in Miami
Yeah.
instead of inheriting Michael Penix. Obviously, that's not the route the Dolphins wanted to go, so that's fine. I think this move puts pressure on Michael Penix because if
Mhm.
Michael Penix isn't good next year, Kevin Stefanski is going to come out and say, "Look, you got me as a play caller. You got Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts.
Mhm.
You got some weapons.
Yeah.
You have to
Right.
play well in a division that is wide open."
Yeah. Every
Mhm.
single year too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't love that that's your answer to Raheem Morris, but sure. Offensive guy. You need a big time offensive guy, right? Stefanski is that.
Yes.
So it's but to me it's not the best answer. I feel like they could have done better, but whatever. Like it's okay. Like
I think they were so set. I think they were another one. They were like so set for Harbaugh, and the
yeah,
Giants were like, "Yeah, that ain't happening."
yeah. Um I would change the quarterback now. Like I don't know. Like I think they should punt on Penance. That's just me.
Here's sorry, Dan, finish up.
No, I'm just saying that's just me.
Yeah. Here's the thing on Penix. The three of us were there when it happened, and
It was shocking.
all three cartoon drops with the jaw going to the ground. My question is, we've asked it 100 times. What the fuck were they thinking? I mean, what did they know that we didn't? Nothing is really vaulted from drafting them. If anything, it's caused controversy.
Yeah.
We have to see how Penix returns from the injury. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm not worried too much about that. But I think you're holding on to two quarterbacks, and you want to have one on for the bench, and you want to have one as a starter. But just think if you trade him back to Minnesota or you trade we're obviously not talking about Penix, we're talking
Dunkirk
about
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. You send Kirk Cousins back to Seattle. You talk about maybe sending, did I say Seattle? Sorry, Minnesota. Um, Maybe even Kirk Cousins is with the Jets. You know, it's it's still the biggest conundrum, and I hope one day we get like ESPN does a 30 for 30 on this and breaks it down on why they drafted Penix.
Yeah, it was, a month after they signed Cousins to that deal, they drafted Penix in the top 10. It just didn't make sense. And now, they'll probably cut Cousins, have to eat the dead cap, and Penix has to be the guy. And if he's not the guy, then they have to go back out and find the guy. And let's not forget, the Falcons don't own their own first round pick this year. That belongs to the Rams.
Yes.
So, got to see what happens. But one thing I wonder about with Atlanta, and I'm kind of putting the pieces together, depending on what Cleveland's going to do at quarterback, if Deshaun Watson's cut, he just played for Stefanski in Cleveland. Would he go to potentially Atlanta, work with Penix and Stefanski? That might be something that's on the table.
It's not a horrible idea.
Now again,
They
Cleveland
have
would
to
have to cut him, but
Yeah.
they have to get somebody in there who doesn't take shit and is not one of these coaches that try to be one of the team. No, that's why Parcells, Shula, Lombardi, Landry, all of them were so good because they did not get involved with the players. Their job was to make sure A goes to B and we score. I want those type of coaches back. No more of these coaches. Oh, you got the good old Microsoft tablet. See, if you would have rolled right, spin move here, and then juke this guy, just like you do in Madden every night, you'd be fine. Come on. Old school football, no computers on the field.
so you're against tablets and technology. You're just showing your age there, pal.
No, it's not that I understand they use it so they can be it's a good tool. Like if you were looking this way, you would have seen him wide open. I absolutely get it. I don't think it should be allowed during in-game usage. I think it's another way in my eyes of cheating. That's me though. That's me. I'm not saying it
No,
is.
no, I get what you're
I
saying.
just don't like the idea of tablets showing your mistakes and whatnot. That's what going back and rewatching the game film is supposed to teach you.
Mm. That's fair. That's very fair. The last bit of coaching news: Matt LaFleur contract extension with the Packers. Patchy only saw half the contract.
Ouch.
Yeah, and he's only half excited.
Yeah.
He's only chopping up half a fish. All right. Everyone enjoyed divisional weekend. That'll do for this edition of the Sunday Sideline Report. We'll be back next Sunday previewing conference championship games. Follow the socials, Twitter, Insanity Real, Facebook, The Sports Insanity Network. Go to the website, thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. Blogs, vlogs, planes, trains, and automobiles. Here on the YouTube page, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. Dan and Bill will definitely have SIP tomorrow. And then we got
And
some
it's a good show.
Yeah, so become a fan. Mark, you got anything on the dugout?
Besides, we recorded the 101. Mike was nice enough to jump in with us for Joe Knapp and the amazing Shadur Sanders. We'll be seeing that soon in a couple days. Patchy's in the middle of editing it, but right now, as Mike said, Patchy's cutting fish right now, so he's not handling the card set.
Something's fishy. Everyone enjoy the games today, and we'll talk to you next week.